What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are well. What's good? What's good? I hope you guys are well. Waiting for you guys to enter the live stream, and then we'll go get into this. What's going on? What's good, peeps? What's good? What's good? What's good? Waiting for you guys to come in. What's good? What's good? Guys, we're streaming in. Let me put this out there. Let's get you guys on. Let's get you guys on. Let's get you guys on. Let's get this in there. Ready for Christian to come on the live. Yeah, Christian actually messaged me. So I think he will come on the live. Hey, Imran, behind doing history made last night. Canelo TKO 11 round. I am happy. 57 and 139. Very, very good. Very, very good from Canelo. Ergin Osman, how are you, brother? I'm good. How's it going, Jose Ruiz? All is well. Alan Hernandez, how are you, brother? Zen is ready for Christian. Christian's going to come on. Christian's not afraid to show his face. Salam to you as well, Tariq. I hope you're well. I hope you're well. We're going to have a good live stream today. Guys, everyone in the live stream, smash the like button. I'd really appreciate if you guys smash the like button. Everyone in there, if you can smash the like button, it'd be really good. He's coming. He's coming. Don't worry about it. Christian will come. He will come. Don't worry. He will come. Let more people enter the stream. He will definitely come. So yeah, guys, who wants to, bro? How does Mayweather look now? Yeah, Mayweather was a genius. He was an absolute genius, right? You know, when you look back at it and you look back at what Mayweather did, that was unbelievable stuff. Great fighter. Like, that's why people say Mayweather is one of the greatest fighters of all time. Look at his fight with Canelo. Obviously, he's a young Canelo. Don't get me wrong. It was a young Canelo, but Mayweather is Mayweather. You know, he's special. That's why I don't like it when people compare Mayweather to like other guys, because they're not on, like, there isn't guys on Mayweather's level. Like, Mayweather's just a one-off. What Mayweather can do, these guys can't do. Guys, everyone in the live stream, if you can smash the like button, I'd really appreciate it. I'd really appreciate it, guys, if you can smash the like button. Makai, what's going on? What's going on, brother? Long time.
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, no, yeah, it's been good. I mean, obviously you had a COVID and everything. How was that? Yeah. It sucked.
Did you have COVID as well?
Yeah, I remember I had COVID as well.
Oh man,
and then I told you about it, and then as soon as I told you, you kind of that was around when you got it as well.
Yeah. So we haven't spoke since then. So it's been a while, Makai. I hope you're keeping well, man. Did you watch the fight last night?
Yeah, I watched the fight. We've got a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, well, we have.
I do, because you've been like, how many times have you been live since? You live twice as well,
like 3-4 times.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's the Usyk fight. I didn't even spoke about the.
Yeah. We'll catch up. I'll get your thoughts on that. But give me your thoughts about the fight last night.
Oh, just Canelo being Canelo, you know. What Plant's problem was is that he wasn't conditioned enough. You know, he always looks really good for like the first 6, and then he kind of just downgrades after, because he just ain't got the conditioning to move constantly. I was like, you were seeing Plant like hit Canelo a lot with these combinations and everything. I thought, there's no way Plant is going to be able to do this for 12 rounds.
Yeah,
like I knew it straight away, but. I mean, he was hitting Canelo quite easily at times, like very easily.
He definitely impressed me, Plant. You know, he was good. He was good. And even not just that, his chin was good as well. He took a shots, to be fair.
Yeah, he took a lot, man. He took a lot. I didn't expect him to take that much, to be honest. And I didn't think he was going to throw as much combinations, but he threw quite a bit. Because remember I said that.
The fight, Makai?
I'll be honest, I wasn't really properly scoring it because I was just so like into the fight. But I definitely had Canelo up. But at the start, Plant was definitely winning.
It was definitely, you know what, Caleb
What do
Plant,
you?
he
You don't leave
definitely.
me. You don't leave me clothes or anything like that out, so I can take them.
Miguel, what's going on? Miguel, you
Oh,
there?
good morning. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Good morning. Is it good morning there? It's good
How's
night
it
here.
going?
It's 8 o'clock here in
Well, actually,
UK.
I'm sorry. It's already past 12. It's already past 12.
All
Sorry.
right, okay.
I guess it's that
Okay.
afternoon.
No, but it's
Yeah.
afternoon. It's like yeah. With us, with UK, we're 8 o'clock, so we're gonna probably go sleep in a couple of hours.
Well, yeah,
That's
evening then for
crazy,
you guys.
crazy that I'm speaking to people that where it's like it's daytime. But Miguel, let's get straight into it, man. What did you make of it, man? Good fight. Enjoy it.
Like Canelo,
Yeah,
it's out of this honestly. Okay.
yeah.
And I don't think right now what can beat him, not even Charlo or Andre. Okay. That's if those two guys move up. Because Alvarez, they're going to move up now to fight at 168. Unless they want a payday,
But you know what?
they have to move up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Miguel?
Go ahead.
Plant for me was a lot more impressive than what I thought. I didn't think I thought it'd be I thought he did well. I thought Plant did really well for what people were saying and how he was gonna, get knocked out straight away. He did pretty well.
You know, he did well. I give him credit for that. About it, okay. Talking too much, KO, knocking Canelo out and all this kind of stuff. Come on,
Yeah.
don't.
I think that wasn't him though. I think that was Ward. I think that was Ward that said that, right?
Prove it.
Andre Ward said that he would knock Canelo out, didn't he?
That's right.
Yeah.
He wasn't at the fight, was he?
No. I don't know. Was he there? I don't know.
Anyway,
probably.
But I don't think it was.
Plant had no power, Miguel. He had no power. He had no power to keep Canelo off.
But he did Canelo off, and then when Canelo's in more pressure on him, he didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
He was Canelo was just cutting the ring off, connecting his body shots on him. If you can see that, like everybody knows, Canelo's a heavy-handed fighter, and it's going to hurt you.
Yeah, he is.
But he will knock you out.
The problem is with
rounds when he works you out. Mm-hmm.
You know what? The thing is with Canelo, Miguel, there isn't anyone for him to fight. Let's be honest. There's no one on his level really.
No.
I was speaking to my dad, and my dad said there's no one really there. There's no one really there that we look forward to as a super fight. Like when he fought Golovkin, we looked at that fight as a super fight because we knew Golovkin could beat him, right? But there isn't anybody nobody stands out to me that I want to see him. And people are talking crazy like Canelo fight Usyk, which is not practical. Usyk is too big, So
no, that's not
anyone there.
That's Usyk. I mean, to me, that's stupid.
Yeah. You're basically complimenting him, really, if you're trying to make him fight a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Or heavyweight now, sorry.
He's not even a cruiserweight. He just beat the unified
cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Like heavyweight. Yeah. I think
he the heavyweight
Canelo would feel
champion.
more comfortable like heavyweight, honestly.
Yeah. I think light heavyweight. I think that's the next move. Light heavyweight's the next move, really. There isn't anyone at 160, 168. At all.
I mean, Imran, I reckon there's Jamal Charlo fight. He'll move up. Well, that's what he's saying he'll do, but you never know with Charlo. But I would like to see that fight. If not, then or Benvedez. There's Benvedez. Benvedez will give him. Recently, I said I don't think Benvedez would give Canelo a good fight, but I think he'll be tougher than Plant, Smith, and Saunders. That's for sure.
Possibly. No, do you think Plant did better than?
Both of them. I'm sorry.
No, I was just asking, do you
Go
think
ahead.
Plant did better than Saunders and Callum Smith?
Well, he lasted 3 more rounds.
Yeah,
You know, he did.
yeah.
I think he did a lot better than both of them, honestly. Let's run that.
Yeah.
He did well. I give him that credit.
I mean,
You know,
Smith,
but you know,
he
Canelo
went the full. Well,
full 12 rounds,
Yeah, he did.
didn't he?
But Smith, let's be honest, was surviving Mackay. He didn't
yeah,
even
yeah, that's what I was about to say. I mean, Smith, he went the full 12, but I mean, he didn't really throw anything. As Christian said, it was a bit of a stature.
Yeah, he was. He was
Correct.
just getting beat
So
up.
yeah, is there a bit of a lag
Yeah,
in
because
there, anyone?
because yeah.
Lag.
At the same token, he was
No,
limited
so
by
I think
Canelo's
I
power
think
too. So he,
Yeah.
you know, so he could not do anything to.
I don't know where Miguel's gone. I think the connection at Miguel's end is a bit poor.
oh yeah, it's when I was saying stuff, it'll come. It would say it like 10 seconds after I actually said it, and it would just look. Yeah, makes it look like I'm like butting in or something. Yeah.
So Plant. A lot of people didn't think the fight was close. Some people thought, Canelo won 9-2, or he was winning comfortably. I do think Canelo, watching it back, Canelo was ahead at the time of the stoppage. But, I give Plant credit. He made the fight competitive. It was a good fight. It was a good watch. I enjoyed it. It was definitely a good fight. I thought Plant definitely played his part. But like I said, Mackay, who beats Canelo? Like, is there anyone that can challenge Canelo right now?
I mean, that's if he moves up, but I mean, he doesn't have to move up. Like, that's the thing. Him and Benvedez, that would be a good fight. Do I think he wins? Do I think Benvedez beats him? No. Him and Charlo might be a good fight. I don't really know. Maybe Canelo will probably take over in that fight. To be honest, there's not really a lot of guys I can think of that will give. I mean, some people still think Golovkin would, but I mean, we don't really know yet. He hasn't fought in ages, and he's like 39. I believe he's fighting Murata, isn't it, in December? So we'll see how good he looks there.
I just think so. There's comments coming in from the comment section. It said Canelo would knock out Khan at 168. Yeah, I think we know that. Ray says Saunders did better than Plant, but Plant beat Saunders. What's your thought on that, Mackay?
I think Plant done better than Saunders.
Yeah.
Plant. I'd say he brung the fight a bit more than Saunders did. Saunders definitely got hit less. He definitely got hit less. He's got bare feet and everything. That's for sure. I mean, Plant, he was sometimes just standing on the ropes and letting Canelo hit him. I mean, sometimes they were blocking, but I mean, they're still flipping gonna hurt. They're still pounding on him, and he was trying to do that mayoral roll. He wasn't. He'd do it, but he wouldn't really. He sometimes slip a few punches, but he wouldn't make Canelo pay for it. Mostly, he sometimes would, but most of the time he wouldn't do anything. He just wasn't conditioned enough near the end, and that's when Canelo started taking over.
Yeah, I'd agree. Ash, where's Ash gone? Ash, you there?
Yeah.
What's going on, Ash? You watched the fight yesterday?
Yeah, it's good. It's a good entertainment, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. You know what, Ash? Plant showed up. He did his thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what? I'll give him a bit of credit. No one said he was crap, innit? No one said it's shit. Just that we knew he wasn't going to win.
Yeah. It was good. It was a good. You know what? I was impressed by Plant. Don't get me wrong. I think Canelo did what he had to do, but I think Plant comes out that fight with some credit as well. He did well, man. I think a lot of people were giving Plant a bit of stick, saying that he's no good, this, that, and the other. But Plant did himself proud. He did the best he could do, He did the best he could do.
Absolutely.
No.
So who do you guys want to see? Ash, who do you want to see Canelo fight now? Guys?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me, man?
I can't hear Ash. I can hear you. I can hear you though. Yeah. So, who do you want to see? What fight do you want to see next?
Probably either Charlo or Benvedez. Probably Charlo more, just because that fight's been kind of getting called for quite a while now, for like 3-4 years now. So just get that over and done with, and then yeah, whoever else there is.
What about Andrade? Just for the fact that people want to see that fight.
I mean, to be honest, that fight really don't interest me at all. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it'd be good to see Andrade get on with Canelo, and the build-up would be very funny as well. Build-up would be good. But I mean, Canelo's basically just said he doesn't want to fight Andrade. I don't like the way how he is talking about Andrade, because he's kind of making no sense with it, because he says Andrade's fought nobody. But I mean, he fought Caleb Plant. Who did Caleb Plant beat?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Caleb Plant was a champion and he wanted to become undisputed, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's why he fought Caleb Plant. But Andrade's got to do more, man. He has got to do more. It's poor.
Andrade is not helping himself whatsoever. Like he says he's avoiding them. He's not avoided. He's not. I mean, I remember when him and Lara was supposed to fight. Andrade said Lara's boring. He doesn't interest fans. I mean, that's what people are saying about Andrade now, and he's not liking it. It's like he used to doing the same stuff. He's not avoided as people seem to think, but he's a good fighter. He's definitely a good fighter.
Let's read out some of these comments then.
Yep.
Ash is back. Ash, you there?
Can you hear me, Imran?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, who do you want to see Canelo fight then, Ash?
I think he should fight Charlo. I think the Charlo brothers will go up to Benvedez or who's that weight division or Charlo's. Other than that, but I can't see anyone beating him. Anyway, to be honest.
I can't either.
The guy's too good, man. I remember in the last live I explained to you, the guy's too good.
Yeah, he is.
And just proved it last night, innit? The guy Caleb Plant's a tough fighter. He's he could take a beating. He took a beating last night.
Yeah, Ash, you know what I was impressed about Caleb is the fact that he had a good chin.
This is what I'm saying. He took a good beating last night.
Yeah.
Fair play to him.
He went out on his shield. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Wilder did. You know what I mean? I always like fight.
Wilder was not going on the shield. Wilder took a really bad beating, because going out on your shield is when you're still in the fight, and you're still in the fight. So if you land a punch, you can get back in it. If you know what I mean. Wilder was never in that fight, so I don't know why he was trying to go on his shield. Like, we know you got punch power, but that's not going to work against Tyson Fury. Which
to be fair, in the trilogy fight, Wilder did show a lot of heart. He was turning Fury, punching him, even put him down twice.
Yeah,
the second fight, he got his ass whooped. He got destroyed. I mean, he still kind of got destroyed in the trilogy, but I mean, he had his moments as well. Like that was a very competitive fight. Still, you agree, man?
Put it this way, yeah. The third fight, yeah, you're saying he showed heart, but he took a beating, innit? Showing heart and taking a beating are two different things. You can show heart and not take a beating. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
And showing heart doesn't make a difference then, in my eyes. Anyway, you're showing heart meaning, you're in the fight and the guy be edging you, he's beating you, but you know that if you have a minute or two, you land a good shot, and it all can go in your favor, and you got the confidence then. So that's when you're showing heart, where some fighters will just give up. Then you can say, yeah, look, he's showing heart, he's keep going. He was in the fight, but he was losing, but he kept going and he ended up winning. Then you can say that someone that's getting battered round one.
No, I wouldn't agree.
Okay, not round one.
In the trilogy, he wasn't getting battered from all those rounds. He won some rounds as well. I don't even like Wilder, but even I can.
And then he came up with it. He tried to
Yeah. So, guys, back to Canelo. Do you know what I want to say?
How many rounds did he win? Give him 3 rounds. Yeah, give him 3 ups to the body and right.
But what I will say is this, is that I thought Caleb Plant was fighting too much on the ropes. You know, when you're fighting on the ropes, right, your back, Canelo was always on top of him, and Caleb didn't have any power to keep Canelo off, right? So Caleb was getting tired, as the fight was going on, because Canelo was right there, and Caleb didn't have any power to push Canelo back. So basically, it was like a sitting duck, eventually going to get worn down.
Yeah.
Caleb landed a few punches here and there, but he was getting worn down. And I think the writing was on the wall. If you don't have power, you can't beat Canelo, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, he needs to fight someone. I mean, he has, but like someone who will get in trouble with someone who has pop in their punches and who won't let Canelo just walk him down. A bit like Golovkin. Golovkin, in a rematch, yeah, Canelo, he did make Golovkin on the back foot, but Golovkin never went on the ropes. He stood his ground, pop, like he did make Canelo wary of his power. So that's why I'm saying someone like Benvedez maybe will give a Canelo a good fight because of that reason.
Hey man, ask you a question, yeah? You know when Canelo's career, and just say he goes up and fights Benvedez and whatever. I still think Golovkin fight is the toughest fighter he's fought.
Yeah, he is.
Even when it's his career, that shows how good Golovkin is, and that shows that no one's gonna. You gotta remember, Canelo's had 60 fights, and he's learned a lot how to deal with certain styles. So yesterday, that's like a Lara, but a bit slower. Yeah, and what happened when he fought him years ago? He struggled, chasing Lara around, blah blah. What happened is he's learned to fight on the front foot, pressure, just to pressure him down, keep on top of him, and that's what he does now to these boxers. He just pressures and puts the beating on them, and then stops them. So there's no one stylistically. You gotta look at styles, make fights, but I can't even think of a style that's out there that can beat him, because you gotta have more power, you gotta be as skilled as him, and you gotta maul him, and you gotta grab him, you gotta get him out of his game plan, because he's got so many tools. He can just go. You got to be really, really, really good, and I can't see anyone that's got all that to beat him.
You know what John says? John says Plant needed to hurt Canelo a bit more to keep him walking forward. Do you think there needs to be a guy that has power, that has serious power?
One
punch
who has
power.
pop in their punches, which will make Canelo not just want to walk into them.
Yeah. Like a lot.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, because there was times Canelo was just eating Plant's punches, and he was just literally taking one to give one. That's what he does. That's what he does sometimes. And I mean, I wouldn't see him doing it to someone who has like power, because that's a stupid tactic, stupid game plan.
What? Someone like Beterbiev. What about someone like Beterbiev? He's a very, very strong guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Beterbiev will be the one walking Canelo down if they did fight.
What was that, Ash?
Yeah, but remember, Beterbiev will have more power. Beterbiev will have more power, but if you look at fighter and his skills, he won't win just with power. He Canelo just with power. So his power won't make a difference when he starts using his skills, head movement, and waist, and different things that he does. Beterbiev won't be able to do.
Yeah, but Beterbiev will make Canelo fight on the back foot. And Canelo's never fought on the back foot. He will make Canelo very uncomfortable. I mean, Canelo he'll have to slip his punch. He will make Canelo knackered.
Yeah, but remember,
Beterbiev will be too strong for him.
Okay, fair enough. You're saying that, but isn't that what Golovkin does?
What was that?
Isn't that what Golovkin does?
Yeah, but
I mean, in the first fight, and he won that.
Well, he did it on paper, but yeah, I agree that maybe he's edged it, yeah, but he's been in there and seen that style already. It's nothing new. It's not something that he's gonna go in there and think, shit, what the fuck's happened there? He's seen that already. Maybe be a level or two higher because he's a bigger guy, but Canelo's coming up to that weight as well. Canelo's not gonna be weighing 160. Oh, people don't realize it.
Ash, he's the only guy, man. He's the only guy.
You, man, you heard it now on live. No one's beating him. Even but
possibly not. He's the only guy I want to see.
I'm telling you, no.
But he's the only guy that I want to see.
We want to see him.
Yeah. Because I don't think any of the other guys can win. I don't think any of the other.
Is Canelo still with PBC? Like, hasn't he got like a 3-fight deal with them?
I thought he's a free agent.
Canelo isn't with PBC. He's a free agent. Yeah.
Oh well, I think he says he's still going to stay with the PBC because obviously there's still big fights. So he's This is what I love about Canelo. He's just open to like everyone. I mean, I'm getting tired of people saying like, you know, he's avoiding these kind of fighters. Like, I just can't wait till he fights them and then fights that guy just to silence people. Really, you know. I mean, there was people thinking he was ducking Plant at first, wasn't there? And then obviously it all got sorted.
Ash, do you think Jose Lopez says, Imran, do you think Canelo can win in cruiserweight?
This is what I was gonna say to you. You know, at 175, see closer fights because you got to remember the guys are bigger, but they're not gonna beat him. It'll be like, you know, like when Mayweather fought and the guy punched him. You think, oh, Mayweather's got punched. It's gonna be like that. You can, Canelo's been in a tight 5 ways, won on points or something, but they won't beat him. And then if he goes up to cruiserweight, then he's going into a place where he's not meant to be. Mayweather going up to 160. You're asking Canelo, who started at 140.
47. 147, I think.
147, sorry, to go all the way up to 175 just to see him lose, basically. That don't make sense.
Yeah.
He started at 47, 75, and it has.
Yeah.
People just want to see him lose.
Yeah.
He's unbeatable in a way. Everyone's beatable, but you look at him as a fighter. He's unbeatable, and what can trouble him? Power doesn't trouble him. He's got an iron chin. Skills don't trouble him. He's got all the skills. People say he's got slow feet. He doesn't need fast feet. His feet are.
Yeah.
He said himself, Caleb, you're not on my level.
Yeah. Do you know? People are talking about Canelo and Usyk, Ash. How crazy is that?
Man. Well, why are you talking about something? Is that, like I said, it's like Mayweather going up and fighting Golovkin. You know, Golovkin's gonna most likely beat him because obviously, when he gets skills pay the bills, but when it gets to a certain weight class and the guy's got similar decent skills, he'll beat you because he's a bigger guy and he's got decent skills. But if you go up to a weight class where you're fighting guys that ain't got no skills, just got power, then maybe you just about might edge it to get what I'm trying to say. So you can say, yeah, he can be beatable, but Canelo's beatable at a weight where he's not supposed to fight at. Even now, really, even if he stopped at 160 even and cleared it all out and whatever, and did a fire 168, that's still great because he's not that much of a big guy, really. You know what I mean? He's 25 foot.
Yeah.
Do you know what did surprise me in that fight, actually? How big a Plant was.
Yeah, Plant was massive, man.
I didn't realise he was that big. Honestly, I didn't realise he was that big.
You know, Plant must have been about, in the ring, he must have been about 190. Like,
probably, yeah, he was huge. Plant, I mean, I would like to see Plant fight, I'd like to see Plant fight Charlo, because obviously they were talking about before, like the day before the Canelo fight, wasn't they? They had a little face-to-face. They said they wanted to fight each other. I actually wouldn't mind that fight.
You know, a lot of people in the comment section, Ash.
Yeah.
A lot of people, and Makai, a lot of people are worried about the Beterbiev fight. They think that fight might be a dangerous fight for Canelo because of the size and power.
Yeah, very dangerous.
Every fight's dangerous when you fight in top caliber fighters. Caleb Plant, people looking at him thinking, I guarantee you, Caleb Plant, if he fought a couple of other guys in that division, he'd beat them.
Yeah, without question.
You know,
Caleb was always good. He was always a good fighter.
Caleb Plant's a top fighter, but when Canelo fights top fighters back to back, he fought 12. I think it's 12. Correct me if I'm wrong. 12 world champions minus the Yildirim back to back.
You know what the thing is, though, Ash? You know, the problem is with these guys like Caleb Plant, Andrade, they're all good fighters, right? But they haven't got the experience. What they're doing is they're waiting for that Canelo payday.
Yeah, he's a millionaire now, isn't he? He's a millionaire now, Caleb Plant.
Yeah.
He got 10 million for this fight. He's made now. He made fuck all his fights minus this fight. And now he's talked his way into this fight. And he ain't going to win. Everyone that knows about boxing knew he ain't going to win. There's no chance. You got to remember, when you're watching people thought, okay, Golovkin is his rival. Golovkin's the guy who's going to beat him. There's no one else can beat everyone. What happened? Golovkin couldn't do it. So what's left now? It's like Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Mayweather, everyone was saying Pacquiao's going to do him, Pacquiao's going to do him. And what happened in the end? Mayweather beat him. So after that, there's nothing left for Mayweather to do. I think Canelo's the same. There's no one, even Biev and whoever it is, there's no one. His biggest challenge was Golovkin. He's done that challenge. And now these guys, he'll beat them with ease. You watch him, and Biev, whoever it is, he'll beat them with ease.
Yeah. Ahmed's in the house. Ahmed, what did you make of the fight yesterday?
It was a great fight, and it kind of went according to how I expected. I expected on after a midway point, and that's exactly what he did.
Ahmed, obviously, what's next for Canelo? What is it? Who do you want to see Canelo fight next?
Well, I'm a hardcore fan. I want him to see him fight. I'm not a casual. I'm a hardcore fan, and I want to see him fight, go up to 175, and prove, his greatness further, and fight Bivol or Beterbiev.
Does he win those fights?
I have my doubt about Bivol at 175 because I think he's a great boxer as well with power and speed and movement, and I think that could trouble Canelo against Bivol.
The thing is, Ahmed, if you can't hurt Canelo, you can't beat him. Let's be real now. I think he's proven that. If you can't hurt him, it's going to be very difficult to beat him.
No, but Bivol's got that power. He's got the respect of Canelo. He's got that. He's got enough pop in his punches. Pardon?
Is Bivol a knockout artist?
No, not really. He's a boxer, man.
He's not a knockout artist, but he's a boxer puncher, and he's strong.
What makes you think he's a knockout Canelo, right?
He's got reach on him. He's got height on him, and he's a very, very good boxer.
Callum Smith was a big puncher as well. He was in the big and reach and height as well.
Yeah, I think with Callum Smith, these British boxers lack heart. They were beaten before they go in the ring against Canelo. Callum Smith, he's not got the heart of a Bivol or something. They're proper top quality fighters. Callum Smith, these type of fighters, they're happy just to get a payday and they're happy to be part of the show.
On the show. But Bivol, is not like Mayweather said, nothing special, no special effects. You know what I mean? Straight jab, straight right hand, left right hand. Jabs the body. So there's nothing that you can trouble Canelo with. So
no, he's got the power of movement. And Canelo, why do you think the fight never went ahead? Because there must have been somebody in the management that said we need to swerve Bivol. And I personally think Eddie Hearn is the one who decided to just not go for Bivol at that particular moment and go for the planned fight.
Canelo tried catch.
We want to unify here. He wants to unify the belts. He wants to be, have all the belts. That's why he went for Caleb Plant.
Yeah, but we know what's the greater fight, isn't it? I mean, you Plant.
Oh, really, man? Come on, man.
I was more excited for the Bivol fight than the Plant one. I think I said that on the live stream as well. I mean, but Canelo wanted to fight him with a catchweight. Then it made me lose interest because I don't think we would have seen the best Bivol because he would have been he would basically been dead going into the ring.
I think
Bivol is very good.
I think we've got to get realistic though, man. This guy's a monster. Let's be real about it. The guy, he walks you down, and if you can't hurt him, and the thing is, Ahmed, he's got a granite chin. Let's be honest. Canelo's got a granite chin. He's got such great skills. His footwork has improved. He's a pressure fighter. He can box in the center of the ring. He's a great body puncher. He's a great headhunter as well.
No, absolutely. Everything that you said is true. But like I said, if we want to see him go to the next level, these are the fights we want to see. We don't want him moving back. And I heard Eddie Hearn saying something like, that's completely.
I don't think he's going to go up there.
We don't want to see them fight. We won't buy into them fights. The casuals might buy into the fights, but not the hardcore fans.
Yeah, Hearn really needs to shut up with Ryder talk. He can't stop mentioning him every time he's talking about Canelo, saying, "Oh yeah, it'd be great for Canelo to fight Ryder in England." No, nobody cares about the flipping fight. I wouldn't watch that fight.
What it is, yeah, Canelo deserves an easy fight now. He's had 12 champions back to back. So Eddie Hearn is saying that because Eddie Hearn. What do you mean, Ahmed? Joshua has had so many. His whole career has been into easy fights. Fucking Charles Martin.
And this and that. His whole career has been easy fights. Was Usyk an easy fight then?
Charles Martin. Who else did he fight? Everyone's backing him and saying, "Oh, you're AJ." He said Charles Martin.
You just said his whole career's basically been easy fights. I mean, the guy's
Listen,
challenged himself mostly out of
you're
Fury
taking
and
out
all
of
that.
perspective. Okay, not the whole career. Then minus 4 fights, 3 fights. Then how many fights has he had?
Oh, he's had
Has he fought
23,
world champions back to back?
23, 24.
Yeah, has he fought 10 world champions back to back? Has he gonna? You know what I mean? You're trying to say that Canelo. If anyone deserves an easy fight, Canelo does.
He's had his Avni Yildirim. We don't want to see none of that.
He's had 12 world championship fights. Yeah, if he goes and fights a cab driver now, he deserves it. It's like you can't say anything. Then after that, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but I don't think it's right to get Anthony Joshua involved in it because
what?
He's a heavyweight. It's not like he can move up, go down, and win belts.
I
He can
that's
just fight guys in the top 10, and that's what he's been doing.
That's not
Joshua
my point.
was fighting top 10 guys.
The point
he's obviously moving up and down fight champs, which is great.
I didn't say move up and down ways because obviously Anthony Joshua can't move up and down ways. I didn't say that. What I said was Anthony Joshua has fought a lot of shit fighters in his career. Yeah. So, and no one said a word about it. And everyone just said, okay, it's Anthony Joshua, it's okay.
A lot of people have said a word about it.
Well,
I see some people flipping. I'm seeing people just like saying, "Oh, AJ, he's a hype job because he lost to Usyk and everything." Like, because obviously, but then they're saying like he lost to a cruiserweight, like completely downgrading him now. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I'm not about his. Like I said, he fought 2-3 guys, Klitschko and Usyk, and who else has he fought then that you could say is world class then?
Oh, Povetkin was good.
Well, Povetkin is old then, really. He's not like
I like Povetkin.
But you're picking you need it in a haystack now. You're trying to find someone world class, and you can just name how many fighters. The point I'm making is
you asked me to name one. I named Povetkin. I'm not saying he's got a better regime or something than Canelo. I'm just saying it's not the right thing to say about Joshua. I mean, you said has Joshua fought 12 world champions? He's not going to be able to fight 12 world champions.
You don't understand what I'm trying to say, but anyway, let him carry on.
Guys,
can I just comment?
One sec, Ahmed. One sec, and let you speak. Pat's Nation said, thanks for the super chat. He said, Canelo haters waiting on pay-per-view sales. What do you think? Do you think the pay-per-view sales are going to be good for this fight?
Yeah, it'll be good.
Hey?
Yeah, it'll be good.
Do you reckon?
I think it'll be all right. I mean, a lot of people are actually really interested in the plant fight. It was actually like especially in America and everything, and obviously they hyped it up a little bit more with that press conference. I mean, it's not going to be huge like Canelo Golovkin, of course, but it will do better numbers than Saunders and Smith.
Yeah, hopefully it does. Hopefully it does. Go on, Ahmed.
I just want to say, you're saying soft touches and all that. Like, I believe Canelo's had a soft touch and he's in the prime of his career. He should fight the best fighters for the next couple of years. I mean, if you're putting him on the Mayweather, level, Mayweather fought best fighter after best fighter after best fighter. He hardly took soft touches.
That's a good point. Mayweather fought some real good fighters. Yeah, he did.
So whatever the best available around your weight class, you're fighting them if you want to create that legacy. And you don't want to listen to Eddie Hearns talk about these worst British level fighters like Ryder and that. So
To be honest, Canelo has said, Ash, that he's going to take a rest till May now. He isn't going to fight. He needs a rest till May. So he isn't going to fight again till May because his body needs a rest. So if he's going to fight 2 times a year, I don't think we can have another crab. I think he needs to fight top guys like your Andres, like your Charlos. And to be honest with you, even though we call them tough fights, it's mainly the camps because the fights have been fairly easy for him. I think he's dominated most of the fights, even the so-called tough guys.
I mean, it's a bit like with this anyway, because when Hearns saying, maybe Canelo can fight Ryder, they're putting it on Canelo. They're saying, why does Canelo want to fight Ryder? Like Reynoso, his manager and trainer, he said that the options the guys they will fight next is Charlo, Benvedez, Beterbiev, or Bibble, and they said they'll announce the opponent in January, something like that. So it's going to be either out of those guys, and any of those guys I wouldn't mind seeing them fight because they're really good fights.
So in May, what do you guys think? Who do you think he's gonna fight?
Charlo.
Charlo?
Yeah, that's 100% gonna be in the next fight. 100%.
Ash? Ash, what do you think? Ash is not there. Ahmed, what do you think?
I want to see him fight Bivol 175 full weight. Prove how good he is.
Do you think that's who he's gonna fight though on May?
Oh, no. I think they're gonna be a bit scared of Bivol. I think Eddie Hearn, not Canelo himself, but I think that there's clever people around him who know the script, and they know that a loss to Bivol will end up Canelo's what you call the future.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of gave it away as well, really, that they know Bivol's a threat because they made a catchweight on him. So I feel like they know that he's a threat.
He accepted a catchweight and they still never fought him. So just imagine.
But
Would they really fight him full-fledged? Would they really fight him out full-fledged 175?
But Canelo wanted to be undisputed, so I don't really think he was looking for the Bivol fight because he wanted all the belts, and he made that clear, didn't he?
Ramon. Yeah.
I think the Bivol fight can happen now because obviously Bivol is now he's got all the belts. He's created history. So yeah, I think the Bivol fight is a realistic one. I wouldn't mind Bivol or Beterbiev, to be honest with you. I think I don't mind either of those fights.
Yeah, but with Beterbiev, you might get an excuse now because you can class him as old and that he's been dropped a couple of times, and if he's not got the power to get Canelo out there, he could be seriously hurt by Canelo, to the body.
He's definitely got the power to make Canelo feel uncomfortable, a bit like with the Golovkin done in the first fight. I mean, Canelo looked very uncomfortable in the first one, on his back foot and everything. I feel Beterbiev will do. I don't see Beterbiev knocking Canelo out cold. Canelo's got a good night chin. I don't see that ever happening.
The thing is, Canelo's he can cope with the Beterbiev type of fight, but I think the difficult task is the Bivol fight. Boxer, puncher, mover, young, not got much flaws in him. Can take punch, to the body. Seen him really in trouble, and it's a fight that I'd love to see against Bivol.
I mean, look what he done to that Joe Smith Jr. He's very dangerous.
As well. I wouldn't want it at 168. No, I want him to fight Bivol at 175.
Yeah, 175.
I want to see that Bivol fight now because Ahmed wants to see it so bad.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's very good fight. I just rather see him fight Benvedez and Charlo first, and he doesn't need to go up to 175. I mean, he didn't look good at 175. When he fought Kovalev, he may have knocked Kovalev out, but he didn't really look that great. He looked slow and everything. He was just more powerful.
Hey man, off topic here. What do you think of Jojo Diaz versus Devin Haney?
I think Devin Haney, man. I think Devin Haney wins.
Reckon?
Yeah. What do you think?
I gotta think about it a bit, but it's a bit closer than you think,
Yeah. It's not. Yeah. Diaz is a good fighter. Good fighter.
I got a funny feeling Diaz might beat him, Well,
really?
It's obviously a bit early, I need to think about it, but
yeah, probably, possibly. Who knows?
What are you? Yeah.
Haney's a good slick fighter, but he's still got a lot to prove,
He's got no power in it, really.
Yeah, he's got no power, man. He's a bit like Caleb Plant, but he's a bit more slicker, a bit more harder to hit.
Yeah, definitely.
Haney.
Oh yeah.
Devin the Dream Haney.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the guy is isn't he kind of your worst nightmare though to fight?
Do you hear about Avenesian? They offered Conor Ben and he turned it down.
Yeah.
I told you about this when we spoke about this months ago when he's giving all the big talk.
Conor Ben's fighting Chris Algieri.
Why didn't he fight Avenesian?
I don't know. He's fighting Chris Algieri next.
Chris Algieri, I fancy Chris Algieri might do him,
Yeah, possibly, maybe. If Chris Algieri is the one that fought Khan, no question.
Yeah, I think he might do him. Don't be surprised.
Algieri's a bit washed up now, so Ben will probably win that.
Yeah, he's past it, innit?
Yeah,
Maybe
Ben's not that good. He's really not that good, but he's. Well, as soon as you fight, I reckon when he fights someone, who has power, like Venezian, like that's when he will lose. Like we haven't really seen him fight anyone who can hit.
I'll tell you, it will be a good test for David Avanesian. Jerome Boots Senate, I think that's a good fight for him.
Ooh, that's a
Yeah.
Who?
I don't think anyone beats Boots Ennis.
Really?
What did you say, Ahmed?
No, for Boots Ennis, David Avanesian is a good step up.
Yeah, it is a good fight for him. He'll win.
Ennis. Well, that fight's not going to happen forever.
Boots Ennis hasn't fought the top level, has he?
Not really.
Do you think he beats Sean Porter?
Nah, Paul. I reckon Paul will be too much for him.
I think when Crawford beats Porter, I think Boots should fight Porter and see what he can do.
Yeah, that would be good. I would like that.
Oh, I'm asking the question because everyone's bigging this guy up. Maybe he's good, but everyone's already like saying he could be everyone in the welterweight division.
Yeah, he's good as people think he is. He isn't as good as people think he is, definitely.
So I'm just asking the question, like, if you guys are struggling to, if he can beat Porter, then how can he beat the top guys? Porter's obviously.
I think he beats Porter, man. I think
he beats Porter.
Yeah,
he don't beat Porter. He don't beat Crawford or Spence.
Ennis is a monster, man.
Porter jump on him, man.
Boots will probably beat Furman because Furman
I
washed
haven't
up.
seen talent like that in my life. I think he's a great fighter.
Yeah, fair play to you. Okay, that's your opinion.
I don't think I've seen a fight like that.
Virgil Ortiz would beat Boots Ennis.
He beats Crawford right now. Then he beats Crawford.
I think I wouldn't put him in with Crawford right now, but I would say in 12 months' time, 100%. I think he beats Spence. He could beat Crawford and Spence now, in my opinion.
Nah,
Crawford. Nah, man.
12 months'
Talking
time.
about Crawford here.
12 months' time, I think he beats them. Yeah. I think Ennis is special, man. I haven't seen a fight like that guy. Trust me, he's a special breed.
The eye test. If you go off the eye test, I mean, Ennis looks spectacular, but you've got to have a bit of resume as well, innit?
Let me get Rare Breed into it. Rare Breed. Canelo Alvarez does his thing, becomes the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. What did you make of the fight?
It was a good fight. I think Caleb did everything he was supposed to do, but like they say, it's levels. So I'll give Canelo credit for this victory. I definitely give him more credit for this victory than the last couple of fights. I'll say that. And I was telling people, I mean, a lot of people didn't want to hear it, but Caleb to me is a better fighter than Billy Joe Saunders. He's definitely tougher too, as you can see in that fight.
Yeah, I think so. What do you want to see Canelo do next?
I really want to see, like, I'm not 100% sure if Canelo's the best at 168. He's got to beat Benvedez to me. If he beats Benvedez to me is the guy to beat at 168.
Yeah, that's true to be honest.
Yeah, if he takes out Benvedez,
apart from
there's nothing to argue.
Benvedez.
I mean, Benvedez, it'll be an all Mexican bout. That'll make a lot of money.
Yeah.
There's every reason to make that fight. And it'll be action packed too. It's not going to be Caleb Plant. He's not going to be on his bicycle like Caleb Plant. He's gonna try to dog walk Canelo, and Canelo's not backing down.
Thing is, Rare Breed, what did you make of Caleb's tactics fighting on the ropes? 90% of his time he was spent on the ropes on the back. Canelo was backing him up.
Yeah, Canelo's cutting off the ring. And honestly, watching this fight made me appreciate Mayweather a little bit more. Like, his defense. Like, you saw Caleb trying to use the Philly shell and all that stuff. Not as quite as effective when he does it.
No. Only one fighter could do that, right? Effectively.
Well, there's a couple.
James Toney as well.
James Toney. No, I don't think Whitaker really used it, but
Whitaker was special, eh?
Yeah, I think Floyd's uncle was decent at it. So yeah, only a couple.
Yeah. Floyd, I think Floyd Mayweather's dad also used that tactic against Sugar Ray Leonard. the shoulder.
Yeah.
So,
but the difference, Floyd just mastered it.
Oh yeah, without question. You know what? I actually rare breed. You know what I did after I watched the fight again downstairs with my family, the Caleb Plant fight, and then we put the Mayweather fight on, the Mayweather Canelo fight, and like Mayweather was just like the performance was sublime, to be honest.
Yeah.
When you think about what Canelo's doing to these guys now. And I know Canelo's probably got better, don't get me wrong. He's got older, he's got more experience, he fought better guys. But still, remember, Mayweather was 36 at the time, so he wasn't young. Although he was don't get me wrong, he was the best fighter in the world, Mayweather, even at 36. And probably at the time, was Canelo even a top 10 pound for pound? Probably not at that time. So, I think that you're right. I definitely think that made us appreciate Mayweather more. I think Mayweather doesn't get the respect, maybe because he had a boring style. But then having said that, Canelo's style is not really that exciting, to be honest with you. He's very explosive and he knocks people out, right? Because he
doesn't have high volume.
Okay.
You know what kind of fights people got mad at Tank for saying he's Canelo at 168. I know the resumes don't fit, but Tank does fight like Canelo. They're both not high volume punchers. Yeah. They're basically counter power punchers,
I think the reason why people are getting peed off with Tank is the fact that he's not fighting anyone. He's not fighting the competition, and that's why people are getting frustrated. They talk like even this Rolly fight though, at Rare Breed. Like, what was that all about? Like, fair enough, it was a big fight because Rolly talks a lot, but we don't want to see Rolly, do we? Like,
my God, David
sounds like a fucking girl, man.
No, but we want to see him fight. We want to see him fight proper fighters. We want to see him fight. We want to see him fight the top guys. We want to see him fight the top guys, and he's not.
You know what I think they're going to do with Tank? They're going to move him like they did. They're going to move him similar to Canelo. Remember early in Canelo's career where he would basically fight legends that were
still happened, man.
Hey, what's going on?
What
happened to your boy, man, Caleb?
Hey, lost. I mean, listen, last night we got some questions that were answered. My question was, does Canelo still have trouble with pure boxers? And I think the answer lies in the middle. The answer is yes, because Caleb, I had him up 6'4" before he got knocked down. He was out. He was giving Canelo a lot of trouble.
He was giving Canelo a lot of trouble. He was.
Now, Canelo cut off the ring and he broke him down. And Imran, you were right. I assumed that because when Floyd fought Canelo, he had no power. You don't need power to beat Canelo. You just need really good skills as a pure boxer. But the fact is that Floyd is an anomaly. He's special. Guys like him come in once in a generation. To deal with today, we don't have another Floyd. So if you're a pure boxer, if you don't have power to at least command Canelo's respect, he's going to keep coming towards you, walking you down until he finally gets to work on your body to break you down. And that's what happened last night because Caleb doesn't have any power. He was outboxing Canelo, but he was walking through those shots like nothing.
Christian, you knew that though? Everyone knew he never had no power though. You said that. You knew he never had power going into the fight?
Yes, because I thought that he could control that range behind the jab, and keep him at a distance and keep moving. But no, Canelo kept taking those shots. He was eating the shots just to get into the pocket. And eventually he got there and he beat him. Now, do I think Canelo still has trouble with pure boxers? Yes, that showed up last night. But if you don't have any pop in your punches to command his respect, you're not going to beat him.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, and I was on the record, that I think you have to, as a pure boxer, you also need an inside game. You have to be able to know how to fight in the inside with Canelo. Now, I still think Demetrius Andrade is the guy to do it because he has the power and he can fight on the inside as well as the outside. But that's neither here nor there. Now, the rumor is David Benvedez might be up next. That's a good fight.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Benvedez that's gonna be a very hard fight for Canelo. But I think Canelo's capable of beating him because Benvedez has no defense. He's there to be hit. Canelo slips on the inside. He uses upper torso movement to make him this, and he can work Benvedez's body. So I think I like Canelo's chances against Benvedez, but that's going to be no walk in the park.
Christian, just a quick question. You said Demetrius Andrade has power. Obviously, there's different type of power. Do you think Demetrius Andrade could stop, has enough power to stop Canelo walking forward like that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Because he put down Liam Williams twice with an uppercut, and I forgot what the other blow was. He's got the pop to do it. I mean, you don't need to KO Canelo. You just need to command his respect to make him hesitate, to be careful going in. And Caleb didn't have that.
Go on, Reb. Reed, what were you
going
to say?
By the way, Charlo might be up. Charlo is another one. I think that's a 50-50 fight. But like Benvedez, Charlo needs to sharpen up his inside game, because if Canelo gets on the inside, I think he could out-slick Charlo on the inside.
Yeah, Charlo's got some pop though in his punches, so I don't think Canelo's going to be walking him down like he was walking down Plant, because
that's the other thing. Power. Yeah. So I think Canelo's going to be a lot more careful trying to walk down Charlo. Yeah. But he's going to have to walk him down because he's a shorter guy. He has to get on the inside.
Mm. Yeah. But Demetrius, my only problem with him is his gas tank. Like, he got tired of this fight.
Well, listen, he had the fight against Liam Williams, and you have to consider there was inactivity because of COVID. He's fighting again against Quigley. We'll find out more or less what his gas tank is like in this fight.
Yeah.
But do you think, guys, just a quick question about Andre. Do you think he needs a bit more, I have a problem with these guys. Plant's the same. Like, Plant had 21 fights against nobody really on Canelo's level. And there's no one there really that is on his level. So it doesn't matter who you fight. But don't you think these guys are waiting for that big payday with Canelo rather than fighting each other? Because they know
they'll do that.
Oh, definitely.
And then
that's part of it. But Andre wants to fight Charlo. He wants to fight Golovkin. He's not getting those fights.
Yeah, man, it's different. Before the fighters used to do that as well. Nothing's changed. But what it is, they used to have a couple of decent fights before they, got a chance at the big fight. Andre, he's fought no one literally, and he wants to fight for a big fight. That's what I don't understand. Yeah, he's got whatever Christian's saying is good and that. Let me finish, Christian. But he hasn't fought no one of note, even someone that's an ex-world champ, top fighter, to say, oh, he's beat him, so he deserves a shot at Canelo. The guy's fought no one, but he wants to fight Canelo. This is the difference nowadays. Back in the day, you said fighters will fight a few decent fights, and then you can say, oh, yeah, okay, he deserves a shot. Like Mayweather, before he fought Madonna, and the guys had good wins under their belt before they fought Mayweather. They didn't just fucking fight Mayweather up fighting no one because they were good.
Well, the fact is that Canelo has fought guys with paper-thin resumes. He's got his resumes littered with guys like that.
No, really, man. Who hasn't got a resume that's fought guys that are like that? If you look at every boxer, he's fought guys at his early days that are like that. That's got 50 losses.
Liam Smith, come on, let's not rehash this. I mean,
but what about the 10, 12 world championship fights he's fought back to back?
What's that?
His last 12 fights minus Wildrim are world championship fights.
Yeah, but he fought Callum Smith and he didn't fight anyone outside the UK circuit.
It's the end of the day. If Canelo wants to fight someone that's a Yildirim, he's got that. He can do it because he's the face of boxing and he's fought everyone in his career. He can do that. Andre doesn't fought no one. He can't just come off the bat and say, "Oh, I'll fight a Yildirim," because you won't feel like.
That's not an excuse to duck Andre anymore. To me, that's not an excuse. He's a champion, just like Callum Smith was. He's a champion. But listen, that's either here nor there. I mean, listen, right now,
I got a quick question.
He's going to fight Benvedez. I think that's going to be next. I spoke to Raymond. Raymond, is that you?
I got a quick question. You guys saw the fight last night, right? Did you guys see the thing that Canelo was talking about when he said, "I'm gonna do something special. I'm gonna show you something special"?
Yeah.
What do you mean? You guys catch that? He paid homage to 7 boxers: Manny, Tyson, Chavez, and I'll let you figure out the other 4. Look at how Chavez would fight inside. Canelo never fights inside. He fought inside. Look at the knockout. Right foot forward, left movement, left head movement, right head movement, left overhand uppercut. That's how he caught Plant. That's Tyson a knockout punch. Now look at Manny Pacquiao's way of chasing and cutting the ring. The same way that Manny moves, that's how Canelo was moving. Look at his foot, his right foot, and how he starts running after Plant when he's cutting the ring. The whole fight, he was paying homage to different boxers. Now, a lot of people didn't even catch that. The way he was setting up, look at the way he was moving his gloves. He was mocking a lot of boxers. And yet he still found a way to deliver the fight. And people miss that. A lot of people. Look at his feet.
Yeah, but listen, Canelo has been fighting the same way as he's moved up in weight because he's short. He's coming forward, getting in the pocket. He's fighting the same way against bigger guys. If he continues, along this path,
Canelo,
it's going to catch up to him.
That fights Canelo at 168 has an advantage on Canelo. Every boxer, period. Because Canelo's 5'7", you have reach advantage. If you know how to box, you have a good boxing IQ. You're going to beat Canelo. Look at what AJ did to Reese on the second fight. He used his reach, his height to an advantage.
But you need power. But you need power behind your jab. You do.
Yeah, but can you take the power that's coming back to you? That's the question.
The thing is, if you're long and you got a strong jab, you can keep him at bay. If Caleb had power, Canelo will stop coming forward because he doesn't want to get hit because it hurts. But he wasn't hurt.
I thought Canelo's performance was better in the Billy Joe Saunders than yesterday night.
Because Billy Joe sucks.
That. But look at Triple G's jab.
You guys talked
jab in boxing is
footwork, and I thought Billy Joe had better footwork. He was moving around those early rounds. I think way better than Caleb.
Yeah, he's way better fit than Caleb.
But I said Caleb is a better skilled fighter than Billy Joe, and it showed last night.
And he's got more dog.
The only problem with Caleb is that he was using the Philly shell way too much, and Canelo was
bingo.
Kind of knew where he knew where where his head was going to be. And he just that sweeping left hook.
You know, when Floyd uses a shell, he mixes it up with a high guard. He doesn't stay in the shell the entire fight.
Exactly.
And that was one of the mistakes that he made.
Not only that,
he has to do that because he was working the body, bro. He's working the body.
Much better reflexes.
That body was getting beat up.
He was beating him to the counter.
You know, I mean, listen. It was this was, in my opinion, his best victory at 168. Benvedez is going to be a war. I'm telling you right now. Canelo is fighting. If Canelo moves to 175, now I'm going to watch Benvedez. I'm going to watch 3 fights this week of Benvedez. I want to get an assessment of that fight if he goes up. But the thing is, Canelo's 31. He's in a division where he's fighting guys who are much bigger than him. This pace of coming forward, taking shots from bigger guys, at some point, it's going to catch up to him.
I think that.
So his window is going to close sooner than you think.
I know both of the brothers.
Is a big boy,
the younger and the older one. Like, I was there at the hospital when he got shot, and I know him really good. Benvedez, he's a natural big boy. He's sacrificing a lot of mass.
I don't know who really would win, but I don't think they're going to go 10 rounds.
His natural weight is 175.
Moving forward and
he should go clean 175.
Oh, so we can talk at the same time.
Guys,
No, I'm saying, like, you're talking about Benvedez, right? I know both of them personally. Like, I was at the hospital with his brother when he got shot. I know them really good. But Benvedez is a natural big boy. He's sacrificing mass to meet 168. He's naturally a 175, heavyweight. He could put him in heavyweight, honestly. He could box at heavyweight. But
and
175 is where he needs to be at. If he's smart, he stops wasting his time at 168, moves to 175, cleans that division. In that time, he develops experience, exposure, and then he comes for Canelo. At that point, I give Benvedez a victory over Canelo. But right now, no way. He's sacrificing too much mass.
Wow.
Too much mass.
Who's talking? Who's talking?
Culture.
I know.
Culture. I mean, yeah, good point. I didn't know that. I knew he was hurting that weight.
I got pictures with him, and look at him. He was 230 pounds at 16 years old, bro. He's naturally about at 175. I think he's good. Then he can go fight.
Do you think Benvedez will beat Canelo now if they fought next year?
Nah, no way. He can't. He won't be able to endure that punch because he's sacrificing mass to meet the weight.
Yeah.
Notice he has a problem with 168 on the scale. That's his biggest issue. So he has to sacrifice mass. That mass he needs to be able to hold, endure those body punches that Canelo's going to give him. By him going to 175, camping out and cleaning that division, Canelo has to go up there and fight him regardless. So at that point, he's already fought B-Roll and all these heavy hitters. He's shown the world that he can take the punch. He's built that mass again, and he's at his natural weight at least. At 168, he's sacrificing too much. I've gone to North Hollywood with him to go where he goes to jog. He's sacrificing so much. Dude, you can see his caps. They're bigger than his body. He's sacrificing a lot. Look at his skin. It's saggy. I'm not hating on him. I'm just being honest. Like, he needs to go to 175 or heavyweight and just clean that whole division. At 175, he can clean the division. I honestly think he can.
So it sounds to me then. It sounds to me. I know he was knocked down already. That tells me that's part of the weight loss.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And
yeah, good point, bro. Good point.
I'm not hating. I love the Benvedez brothers. You know, like even the younger one when he was sparring Pac-Man at 16, and he went against Crawford. You got to remember, he could have beat Crawford if he would have never got shot. He was fighting on one leg because he was told he was never going to be able to box again.
He would have beat Crawford if he didn't get shot.
Crawford 2 years.
It was a close fight.
Yeah, it was a close fight. Yeah, that's a fact. But
do you think Benvedez will? Do you think Benvedez will be smart and just move up and let that fight marinate?
I honestly think it's an infatuation they have with Canelo. That it's just, you got to remember, when you see somebody on top, it's just like you tell yourself, like, I could beat him. You'll look for things that you're better, but you're not realizing, you're not getting that reality check that Canelo got when he got beat Floyd, where you go back to the lab and you're like, you know what, I gotta go and fix this, find myself, find my strategy, find who I am. And if you look at Canelo, he overcame adversity. He went back and studied. But look at every opponent that Floyd fought. Where are they now? Where's Ortiz at after he fought Floyd? Where's Marquez after he fought Floyd? He had beaten Manny Pacquiao. Remember, he knocked him out. Then he went and fought Floyd. You never heard of him again. All the opponents that Floyd fought, they were just done after him. Yet Cotto and Canelo went back, cleaned up their shit, realized what they were about, finessed their game plan, and focused on what they need to do and developed a strategy. And that's what they went by. And that's what these boxers need. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. This guy was slapped through reality. Canelo, when he first came in, if you look back, he was hot on his horse. He thought he was unstoppable. He ran into Floyd. Floyd gave him a lesson. And rather than just folding like all these other boxers did, collect the check and disappear, like Ortiz, the Argentinian guy that fought him 2 times. You never heard of him after that. A lot of them, right? And Canelo instead went back to the lab, got it together, focused, regrouped, and look where he's at. That's a story you can look at and reflect upon, because a lot of us go through shit like that. And he overcame that, and people don't ever give him his credit for that.
It's going to be tough to beat Canelo because he has the most amount of experience. These guys are waiting for that paycheck. If they would have a much better chance if they were facing each other and, like you said, facing adversity, trying to go back to the lab and trying to better themselves. Even Benvedez, I think he stands a really good chance, but he's yet to have a really good challenge. He should have fought Charlo. He should have fought some of these other champions to see if he had it in him.
I think the Charlo brothers can hit hard. Termel, he can hit hard, but I don't know if he can take a hit. That's the thing. It's like, you can dish it, but can you take it?
Oh no.
Yeah, but I think horrible. I don't think the Charlos can beat him, because I think it takes right now it takes a pure boxer who's got power.
Yeah.
Because Canelo's too good on the inside. You need someone who can fight on the inside and fight on the outside, who can move.
And there's a UK boxer that actually exposed Canelo, and a lot of people don't talk about him. The first Smith brother, he fought him. Look at the first 6 rounds. He gave Canelo a hard time. He fought him up front, close, didn't backpedal. He kept pushing the fight to Canelo, and Canelo was on his back foot the first 6 rounds. Look at that fight, and then look at Josecito versus Canelo, the second round. When Josecito came at Canelo, he dished it. But the problem with Josecito is that he was underweight, smaller, moving on a division against Canelo. But if Josecito would have had more size, I think he might have dropped Canelo.
Coach,
Canelo, you got to go straight at him.
Real quick, you know what's funny about that?
The younger one almost gave him a run for his money.
Here's the thing.
You know what's funny about that?
Go on, Red.
Floyd basically walked down Canelo. Like, people think that he was just, running around the ring, but he actually walked him down more than
But Floyd is a different
Floyd did his thing. Floyd did his thing.
Well, Floyd usually doesn't do that, at least late in his career.
Yeah.
Floyd's an anomaly. I mean,
But you know what? I want to talk about that Liam Smith fight. You said that Liam Smith gave him trouble.
Yeah.
In that fight, Canelo had a broken hand, and he still backed Liam Smith, and he dropped him a couple of times in that fight. I don't really think that fight was competitive at all, to be honest.
I don't know if it's that one. It was the first one, the younger one. I forget his name, but
Liam Smith.
The fight went to like 9 or 11
He only
rounds.
fought Liam Smith and Callum Smith. They're the two brothers.
Okay, well, he actually look how he attacked his strategy. He wasn't trying to counter. He went at him, like straight at him. That's how you go to Canelo. You got to go on torpedo mode, straight at him. You have to, and that's how Triple G got to him on the first fight. The second fight, Canelo regrouped and said, "You're not doing this to me again." And look what happened.
That was like Canelo from 6 years ago, though.
Yeah, definitely. He's up. Like he's transformed into an animal now. You. That's what I'm saying. There's nobody in 168, 160 that can beat him. Period. Nobody.
Guys, I'm gonna throw this at you guys. Jerry Trap House says GGG beat him twice, but you're never gonna beat Canelo if it goes to the scorecards.
I agree, because those scorecards that I saw last night was just horrendous.
Triple G on the first fight could go either way, regardless. Either way, all those rounds could have gone either way. So a draw, I'm okay with that. Whether you want to say Canelo beat him or Triple G beat him on the first fight, that's based on opinions. But the fact is that scorecard could have gone either way. To me, a draw is fair enough. The second fight, based on the way Triple G was coming to Canelo, all this Mexican style, the dude put his foot in his mouth and Canelo delivered. He brought the fight to him. That alone tells you a lot. And if you look at Triple G, Canelo, the first fight, look at the first 3 rounds. Where was Canelo running? Canelo wasn't really running. Look at the fight. Go back and look at it. Prove me wrong. He didn't run from Canelo. He didn't backpedal. They were going toe-to-toe. But on the second fight, Canelo beat him. Straight up, he did. He brought the fight to Triple G. Triple G didn't know what – Triple G was never put on that back ever. And then Canelo exposed him. He delivered the fight. And then look at we got to give props to Reynoso for that too, because he got on Canelo about that. Look at the fight last night. If you remember before the fight, before they walked into the ring, Reynoso was grabbing Canelo's arm, his left arm. He kept trying like they were strategizing on how to get out of being held. If you look back at the fight, you can see where he's hugging him, and they're trying to like, because he knew that was going to happen. That Caleb Plant would have to wrap up, jab, wrap up, which was what he was doing. He was wrapping up that left hand, and that's what they were working on.
For you guys.
You got to give props to Reynoso. Reynoso, he's a man. Just like Amir. The only one that I think the most recent one that had Canelo beat is Amir. Amir can't, but he doesn't have a good chin. That's why he didn't beat Canelo. He would have beat Canelo if he had a chin. But
he doesn't have defense either.
He moved up weight.
He was losing.
He could have beat Floyd. I think Amir could have beat Floyd. Honestly.
Culture. Amir was down on the judges' scorecard in that fight.
Yeah, which was absurd. I thought Amir Khan had the whole fight won until the 6th round. I think.
I'm convinced that you can't beat Canelo unless you knock him out. I mean, at this point, the way these fights are scored, he's got a machine behind him. It is what it is.
But on that same note, on those controversial fights, he's delivered. I mean, there's 1 or 2 that are based on opinion, like Lara, that you could say it went either way. But at the same time, a draw, I'm cool with that too. Whether he won or that's based on opinions, But I think that the Triple G, the one that people bring up, it's just based on opinions. I think that the draw is fair for me. Should be fair because all those rounds could have gone either way.
Here's the problem, though, guys. Here's the problem, right? You know what it is? It's like, when we saw Joshua v. Usyk, Joshua's the same as Canelo in the sense that Joshua's a massive star. And if it's close and it goes to the scorecards, he's probably going to get the decision. But Joshua isn't as good as Canelo, so Usyk was able to outbox him and make it look quite one-sided.
Yeah.
The problem is with Canelo, he's so good that I don't think anyone can do that right now. I think Canelo's going to win rounds against you. So when the fight goes to the scorecard, it's going to be close. So if the fight's close, right, I think Canelo brings too much to the table for people to I think he brings a lot to the table because what you got to realize is Canelo's his fights are worth God knows what they're worth. Like imagine all the hospitality and all of that, all the hotels and everything. It's like all of that. It's a big. He's a big cash cow. You know, not just to the promoters and stuff, but everything around him. He's a huge cash cow. So I don't really think it's going to be that easy. You have to beat him comfortably, and I don't really know if anyone can do that right now.
And then now another debate that's going on is like, where's Canelo ranked among Mexican boxers? Well, they still have Chavez on top of Canelo, but people don't realize that Chavez, the first 50 fights, he fought a bunch of fighters that had 1 fight, 2 fights, 3 fights. Look at his record. Go back and pull up Chavez's first 50 fights. He fought boxers that were fighting the first 2 fights, had 10 losses. So people don't go back into that history to give Canelo his flowers.
That's because Chavez is so loved in Mexico.
Fighting so many big names.
Yeah, but in those weight classes, it's different. Once you move over 154, you can get hurt. So it's a different level. So Chavez did it in those light divisions, but at 154 up, you can get hurt, man.
Yeah, career ending. Look at Billy Joe. You got big boys, and that's where I give Canelo his props. 5'7.5", fighting boxers over 6 foot. That alone is crazy. Advantage. In a street fight. That's just you see someone fighting, you're like, all right, this dude's got off the gate. So by him just going into the ring, whether it's an Uber driver, whatever you want to call him, he has an advantage. Reach and size. That's why there's weight classes. Yet 5'7.5", going up against six footers, you gotta give him his flowers.
You gotta give him his props. But but I think this pace that he's on, if he moves up to 175,
he's gonna get hurt.
Oh yeah.
Eventually, his luck is gonna run out.
Oh, yeah,
he just needs some time off.
That'll be a bit way too much for him if he moves up.
He needs time off. That's what he needs right now. I wouldn't bring him back to September. Those fight camps will kill you. Yeah, that's too much. Those fight camps.
If he comes in May, I would expect
he needs to be back.
No championship, just a basic fight for a bigger fight for September.
Apparently, it's Benvedez in May.
You know,
listen, I think Culture's right. Benvedez should do exactly what Culture said. He should just move up and wait, build his name at that division, and let the fight marinate. Because I think right now, now's not the time to fight Canelo. Not at that weight.
Exactly. At that time, he's already in his 30s. He could be the face of boxing or someone of the face of boxing at that point.
Yeah.
If he does what he does right now, and Canelo breaks his spirit, that could be bad for this dude.
He's got to play the long game. He has to.
Just look what happened to his brother. He risked too much trying to take on Crawford rather than taking on small fights after that gunshot. He straight went for it. And props to him. All props. But on the 6th round, he was on 1 foot the whole time.
Who's the guy that said that Amir Khan would beat Floyd?
I did. Prime Amir
As a
Khan.
matter of fact, I have to confess, when Floyd was active, I always thought that Amir Khan was the one guy that can possibly give Floyd a lot of trouble because he's got long arms, he's super fast. But even though he has a glass jaw, Floyd doesn't punch hard.
Correct.
So I thought that he could give Floyd a lot of trouble.
Good point.
A lot of people thought that. Roy Jones said that. Paulie Malignaggi, many fighters said that as well. But I don't know, because you know what? Like, even though I was a big Khan fan growing up and stuff, I think Floyd is special. So I don't really know. I don't know. It's hard. We'll
never know. We'll never know. But that was a fight that I wanted to see.
Oh yeah,
I knew he had him.
Hey,
he could have got him. I think he could have outboxed him for sure. Amir was just a technician. It's just that he never got that break, and he had to take a risk himself, promoting himself, and move up weight and fight Canelo being undersized. So I still give him his props, even though he got knocked out. All props to Amir for going up against Canelo. You know, undersized, underweight.
Oh yeah.
Definitely,
Okay, that's one thing. But then the second thing you said was that David Benvedez could be the face of boxing. How?
If he was to move up to 175 and clean the division.
No boxer that fights in that weight class could ever be the face of boxing. That weight class doesn't have enough competition.
Look what he is. I'm not look at his nationality. Look at the fan base. He could, and then if he goes after that and cleans up the division, comes and fights Canelo, I don't see how he can.
Yeah, and the fight would be at 175, which favors Benvedez because he's not burning down, he's not killing himself.
Yep.
I think Jaron Ennis would be the face of boxing.
I think Jaron Ennis is going to be the next king.
Yeah,
he could be.
As a matter of fact, Jaron Ennis has the type of skill set that can beat Canelo right now. But the thing is, I don't know if he has the size.
Oh, he has the size. He's a big dude for 147.
We're not gonna have fighters like that no more.
Yeah, that's why like when people hate on Canelo, it's like, dude, appreciate what you're watching because these guys come once in you're not gonna see boxers like this often. Like,
yeah, but listen, if Canelo fights Andrade and Charlo, then I will have no issue with him. It's just that it's the way he moved in the lower divisions is what I take issue with, what many people take issue with.
Yeah. Because that's what happens in development. How you gonna have an issue with someone that's developing? He was going through the beta stage of his growth. I mean, that's just
28, 29.
I mean, it's an opinion. You got to respect the opinion. It's an opinion, but the facts of the matter is that none of those guys are going to beat Canelo. You just want to see the fight to see how it would the outcome. But
an opinion. Let's get something straight. An opinion is before the facts. After the facts, it's a perception, and the facts are in. It was the growth. He was growing. Like I said, the stages. It's the stages of a growth. He had no amateur background. His pretty much his amateur was the pros, because down in Mexico you don't have that route to get to the Olympics and stuff like that. You have to turn pro. It's different kind of poverty.
I have a question for you guys. Just because I didn't think that that Canelo's performance was the best of this year. Do you think it has something to do with his activity level that he's been fighting in camps? Or do you think it's planned?
No, I think it was plant style, and Canelo has a lot of mileage on him. That's what I'm saying. This pace that he's on, I think this window is short.
No. It's not short. It just needs to be well managed. It has to. Now we have to give him a break and give the other fighters an opportunity to face each other. Give Canelo up to next September. Let him rest his body, because not only is not only the fighting camps, but he's taking on golf, and he's taking it serious. That also wears your legs down. He got a little cocky last night. Didn't want to sit in the bench. He thought he had him, and I know he shocked himself. He said, "Damn, my legs, my stamina. I feel a little weak here." But that's what the greats do. Even when they're tired, they're going to still keep pushing through. To be honest with you, that was a great performance, I know he was probably at 70% capacity. He wasn't himself.
What I saw yesterday was the same thing he did with Saunders.
What happened,
Imran? Garcia wants me to read this out to you. He said, Imran, tell Christian to rewatch the fight. Plant gave Canelo love taps to his gloves. See the punch stats. Canelo's landed more and most effective Canelo punches were powerful.
Here's the thing about yesterday's fight. Let me just get this out like this.
This goes back to how we score boxing. Does a power punch get more points than a jab? No.
Yes.
A punch is a punch. No, I disagree.
If this was the amateurs, then maybe, but this is the professionals. The professionals are in there to hurt and knock each other out.
Listen, Canelo was missing a lot. Those punch stats are not accurate because a lot of the body shots were blocked in the shell. Canelo wasn't hitting.
Hear me out. You go back and watch the Billy Joe Saunders fight. Someone made a very interesting video pointing out the way Canelo set up Billy Joe. The way that he did set up Billy Joe is the way he did Caleb Plant, but with a different strategy. He built his confidence, bro. He allowed Caleb Plant to hit him. He had to. He tested Caleb Plant's power, and he's like, all right, you ain't gonna face me. Now I'm gonna give you that confidence. Come on. He built them, and then he brought back that upper left, which was what he got him. The first 2 rounds, he was trying to get him, and he realized he couldn't. He was getting frustrated. So he said, you know what? I'm gonna build you and I'm gonna break you. And sure enough, he did. He let Caleb Plant put that jab while he was working up that body. That body slowly broke him down. When he brought that back, that upper left, he caught him. Same thing with Billy Joe. What was he trying to do? He was trying to catch him with that right uppercut. He said, I can't get you. I have to get you to counter me. Boom, boom. worked that body again and caught him on that uppercut. Canelo is on a different level. Like when people say, he exposed them, no way. Nobody exposed Canelo.
No, but
he's letting people,
let's go back to
letting you get confident to catch you because you're not going to attack him. When he was on the ropes, Caleb Plant said, I'm going to bring the fight to you. Take the fight to him. He's waiting for you right there. Canelo is
problem with
chess, bro. He's on a different level.
The problem with Billy Joe and Plant was they were both predictable. Billy Joe with that leaning over, he caught it. And then same thing with Plant. When he was in trouble, he went to that Philly shell, and Canelo knew exactly where the head was going to be.
Those are not really, they're not really predictable. Those are amateur tendencies. You know, it was like, remember when Amir Khan, hey, hold on, let me finish my point, my brother. Do you remember when Amir Khan got caught with that right hand? Canelo threw the jab. Amir Khan kind of put both of his hands in front of him, and Canelo came over the top with the right. That was an amateur tendency. That's the bad thing about the amateurs. You know, you grow, but at the same time, you also develop a lot of bad habits, you know? And though that ducking down, that's just an amateur bad habit, you know, because you're not supposed to duck. You're not supposed to duck down looking at the ground. You're supposed to duck down still keeping your eyes on your opponent. But, you know, that takes composure. And when you're wearing face guard, bodyguard, 16-ounce gloves, you're not really going to take that into account because, you know, you're not going to really get hurt. But in the pros, it's different. You know, you're going to get hurt. So that's just, Canelo knows that. He knows that these guys got those tendencies. He shows them the jab over their head. They dip down and fall right into the punch because he knows those are their habits. It's just part of the part of the amateur.
I think this is probably the biggest advantage for Canelo, that he has been pretty much a pro his whole entire boxing life because he started at 15. So he's been fighting grown men, trying to knock grown men out since age 15, where Caleb has been in the amateurs trying to point fight. And even though it's pretty exciting and interesting to watch for Christian, in the pros, they're knocking each other out, especially at 168. And Canelo has a clear advantage over pretty much everybody right now.
Yeah, that's a great point because you got it. It makes him a performer instead of just a boxer. You know, you have to understand that at that level you're performing. It's a different kind of a fight. So you know, it's funny. People talk about the sweet science. Yeah. So why you're judging it like checkers? You know, you're gonna have to you got to understand this is not an X and O game where, you know, you score it, you know, like checkers. This is chess. So you have to see what's the next move. What is this leading to? What is he trying to get to? So if you're gonna use the sweet science kind of logo, then you're gonna have to take everything in the periodic table. You know, you just can't use, you know, the few little things you like to use. These guys are performing fighters. This is a different kind of a fighter. He's trying to perform, which puts him under a lot of pressure, you know. Where the other guy, he just, you know, he boxes. You know, last night Canelo was trying to give us what he wanted to give us, what we wanted to see, which was, you know, closing the show. And wow, I was very surprised he was able to get that through. It was impressive, to be honest, because Caleb seems solid. That's a fresh body. You know, he ain't been in no wars. He's in the prime of his life. He doesn't know how to lose. He hasn't lost. People don't understand how difficult it is to beat a fighter that hasn't been beaten. It's just hard to do. He doesn't take.
I have another question for you guys, just because for me, Caleb Plant's stock went up yesterday, just because I thought he did way better than most people thought, way better than what I thought. I thought Benvedez would run over Plant. I think that's a 50-50 fight. I think Plant was playing the game right. What do you guys think about that fight?
The bad thing about that is that other fighters seen that, and they know that if they go in there with Plant, they're probably gonna show off, you know, some of their mistakes, you know, so they stay away from that. Notice how every fighter Canelo fights, you never see him again with another top opponent, because
I don't think that's Plant, though.
No, I think Plant is actually he's going to be looking for a fight. Plant is actually going to be looking for a fight, but it's going to be hard to get him in the ring because they've seen how tough he can be, and he's going to be actually tougher now after this fight. I believe he's going to be.
It all depends how he takes the loss. A lot of people just take the loss and it just hunts you. It all at the end of the day, it's just how he reacts from the loss. Like I said, look back at Ortiz, look back at all these greats that once they lost, they never got back.
Yeah,
together.
but Ortiz lost to Madonna. He was already broken before he even got to Floyd. Ortiz heart was
Maidana, who broke Maidana? Floyd broke Maidana 2 times.
He didn't break Maidana 2 times. Madonna gave Floyd a run for his money, bro. If you look at those fights,
but
Maidana
he broke him down mentally. He couldn't get him, no matter what he did. That inside style wasn't gonna do it.
No, but that's to be a guy that's limited talent-wise, because I mean, Madonna, to be honest, I find that got to be the type of dude you just paint the belt around his waist, because I never seen a Madonna fight that was not it was all his fights was entertaining, man. I mean, talk about a performer. Madonna was a performer. That boy gave you your money's worth.
I mean, he was all right. The only person that gave Floyd a run for his money, and I thought, in my opinion, beat him was Castillo. Period. That's it. That's
100%. 100%. And that's probably the only loss that he's ever had.
Yeah, I think Castillo beat him. Honestly, that fight should have went to Castillo, in my opinion. Is it a fact? No, because he lost. But in my opinion, I thought Castillo, out of all the boxers that Floyd's fought, even Oscar, Castillo was the only one that exposed him.
And to be honest, I think Khan in that Madonna fight, Khan showed a lot of grit, man. I remember watching that fight, and I don't know how the hell Khan got out of that fight, but he did. He pulled that off, man. And I think that Khan would have given Floyd problems. I think that Khan would have given Floyd problems.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you guys think about Winky? Sure. Winky Wright, Floyd.
Oh, that's to Winky Wright. Wow. Then he beat Trinidad, and I think he fought Taylor. He fought Hopkins. Winky was a tough guy, man. That was a tough style to face. Kept his hands up. He had forms like Popeye, man. I mean, you couldn't even break through the guard. I see him against. I see Floyd outpointing because, the motto is hit and not get hit. I think Floyd turned that out on his head. He turned it into not get hit and hit. You know what I mean? While everybody's out there hitting and not getting hit, Floyd is not getting hit and hitting. He kind of turned the model upside down. And I give him credit for that, because boxing always finds a way to take a piece out of you. And Floyd was the only one that escaped from the system fully intact.
But one thing we got to give Floyd credit for anytime he had a close fight, he always gave the guy a rematch. And he
100%.
He usually dominated the second time.
There's no hate on Floyd. Floyd's got that. Floyd is Floyd. Period. Floyd is Floyd. He's a businessman, boxer. He played his cards perfectly. There's no hate on him.
I don't know if any of the guys in this era would do that. If they have a close fight, they usually don't want. Well, Triple G but that wasn't really a victory though. That was a draw, but still.
Any elite fighter is always going to try to redeem himself. Joshua did it with Andy Ruiz. Everybody, he's going to do it right now again this time around with Yusuf. Yeah, so all great fighters, when they feel they could have done better, they're always going to come back and try it again. Like the same way Floyd did with Madonna. He did it again because he felt it was a little bit too close for him. To be honest with you, I think Madonna hit him less the second fight, but hit him harder. You know what I mean? Like, he decided, you know what? I'm not going to try to outpoint him. I'm going to try to hurt him. And if you look at that fight closely, Floyd got rocked a few times in that fight, man.
Hey, it's boxing. You're gonna get hit.
Yeah, it is. It is.
What do you guys think about Teofimo? I'm still not convinced on him. I need to see another. I need to see. I
don't like the father and son combos. I never liked the father and son combos. Look, I actually believe this. Look, to be honest, I think Canelo would actually be fighting Andre if it not had been for his father jumping into their combo. Because I think that Andre and Canelo was having a good exchange until his father jumped in and started yelling and screaming and talking about which is kind of ignorant, because how he would feel if his son had just finished a fight and he's got some other dude there just screaming at him, trying to belittle his performance or who he is. But I believe that if his father had stuck out of it, I think that Canelo would have told Andre, look, why don't you do this? Why don't you go fight a top guy be the top guy, and I'll be here waiting for you. That's
not guaranteed to happen.
That's where the conversation was leading to. But then Andre's father jumped in because what happened? Yeah, go fight Charlo or Jacob or you know,
Jacob was no joke. I don't know if he still has it, but that Canelo fight, he was there. He was there. I give Jacob his props.
That's the fight that I actually seen kind of repeating in this fight with Plant. It was kind of like Canelo versus Jacobs. It was kind of like
Jacobs gave Triple G a hell of a fight too.
And I believe, close fight. And I believe Jacobs at 168 can give people a run for their money. You know, it's just.
I have a question. I got a question for Canelo fans. When was the last time Canelo was in like a real 50-50 fight?
Hey, listen, look,
Triple G.
Loved him.
Yeah. So like, if you're gonna call yourself the pound for pound number one, shouldn't you be in more 50-50 fights?
But,
yeah. So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. How many 50-50 fights were Floyd in?
Did Floyd?
Crawford.
Yeah. How many?
De La Hoya.
Crawford.
Let me answer your question without asking you a question.
Okay.
I'm gonna answer your question without asking you a question. I'm gonna tell you straight up. You can't be mad at Canelo for being better than his opposition. You can't. You can't, bro. If he's good, you can't be mad at him fighting boxers that are good,
you know
but
what?
he's just that better.
It's not just fighting. You see, it's actually performing. I mean, we can say that Floyd maybe had a better, but Canelo's a much, much better performer than Floyd is when it comes into. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. By long
guys
shot.
are biased.
Canelo
I understand you're Mexican and you're gonna go with Canelo.
No.
Knock out the very best competition. Canelo is in there. He's giving you undefeated world champions and knocking them out.
Floyd is fighting better competition.
How?
It's
How is
the reason why everybody watches.
Let me ask him a question.
How is Floyd fighting Canelo?
Who? He beat the brakes. He won the match.
We're not talking about better boxers.
No one's gonna argue with
Canelo for 12 rounds, buddy.
Let me educate you on something, my brother. Last night, Canelo beat Plant. He didn't win the match. Winning the match is not beating the guy. Okay, beating the guy is different. He beat him up. You're talking about winning a match. You're saying Floyd won the match. That's what you need to understand. Floyd did not beat Canelo. Canelo did not have a broken nose, a broken eye, bleeding out his nose.
Nelson.
I'd rather get knocked out in the first round than get spanked for 12 rounds like Canelo did.
Who's talking right
now? Listen.
I mean, sorry, rare breed.
Okay. Hear me out. I'm gonna ask you one thing, dog. You ever done something in life where you get fucked up and you just want to give up? Canelo, look what Canelo did after the loss. Look what he did. He was 23 years old. Look where he's at right now. He didn't lose against Floyd. He won.
Once again, I ask the same question. Who did Floyd fight at 23?
So whether you want to hate on Canelo, go ahead and hate on him. It's your opinion. But don't deny the facts that the man is a fucking champ. And he's the best champion right now.
That's what. Yeah, but that's the difference that sets away the performer. The performer beats the opponent. That's the reason why Canelo gets the benefit of the doubt in the prize fights, because he's trying to beat the guy. Yeah, what's up,
Nelson? I agree with you in terms of better performer. He's a bit more exciting to watch, but is he a better fighter?
Yes, he's a better. Floyd's a better boxer. Canelo's a better fighter. You have to understand 100%. There's a difference. And we need to understand.
Gervonta Tank is a better fighter than Floyd. It doesn't matter.
You have to look.
He's a better performer. Tank is a better performer.
Made a point about performance, right?
Yeah, exactly. Still not Floyd.
Hold on.
Okay, let me ask you another way. Who's harder to beat? Who's harder to beat, Floyd or Canelo?
Floyd will, because Floyd is actually defensive minded, whereas Canelo is really trying to come forward and make a fight out of it. But if Canelo was to decide to fight Floyd's way of fighting, he could be just as successful. When he did it with Triple G, he got no credit.
Look, this debate
when he boxed Triple G, let me finish my point. When he boxed Triple G,
the thing about Canelo and Floyd is becoming a issue. And it's, if you notice, all the black channels hate on Canelo. I don't.
Yeah,
bro.
Listen,
guys, speak one at a time. I can't hear you.
Hear me out, Nelson. Floyd made me a bunch of money when he was in his prime. I was a fan. Hey, I gave him his props. Now Canelo is his time. I'm Hispanic. I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on Floyd. But for some reason, all these black channels seem to attack Canelo time.
That's good, but that's a topic for another day, my brother. Listen, that's a topic for another day.
Why do you guys hate Canelo so much? Why is it that?
Well, whatever agenda other channels got going on, that's not what Imran got going on here.
Nah, it's not what he's got going on, but that contaminates the whole boxing community.
That's fine, but we're not going to contaminate our chat with that. You know, we are having.
You got someone coming in right now.
You brought it up, bro. Nobody brought up race.
Nobody.
Yeah, so let's leave it there. Oh my God, you see, listen. We got to keep it, you know, between the lines, my man. We can't be going rogue.
Okay,
you know? There's a reason why I actually joined the Imran chat, because he keeps it going.
All right, Nelson, hear me out.
Well, let's go back to basics. You guys were talking about performances and how Canelo is the better performer, Floyd was the better boxer.
Correct.
Can we move on from that?
Yeah, let's understand
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What's a better performance? Mayweather versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Caleb Plant?
I really say Caleb. I say Canelo versus
It's
Plant.
the reason why the UFC has brought a lot of boxing fans over, because they're seeing a lot more knockouts. 100%.
You know what? I wanna say something about that. I agree with this guy 100%. I believe that the UFC needs to cut Floyd Mayweather a check, because it was Floyd Mayweather who gave the rise to the UFC. I mean,
I've been
his
saying
performance
that for months.
I believe that if Floyd had not existed in that era, the UFC would have not been as successful as it was, because people were thirsty
100%.
to watch prize fighting, which is what it is, even in the even with the gloves on. You know, it's still a prize fight.
That's such an excuse, bro, because Floyd is the most highly generated fighter of all time.
He never gave us the 50-50 fight. When everybody wanted to see Floyd versus Pacquiao, we never got it. It was 7 years too late, and that 7 years opened the door for the UFC.
That was a 50-50
all these
fight.
fans that wanted to see 50-50 fights and the very best fighting each other.
Wait. Let me say my piece real quick. Let me say my piece real quick.
Let Red Breed have a go. Go on, Red Breed.
Look, when I hear people say that Floyd never got into a 50-50 fight, no. You're mad because you never got to see Floyd lose. He was in plenty of 50-50 fights. Corrales, early in his career, was a 50-50 fight. De La Hoya was considered a 50-50 fight.
Corrales? Wait. I'm gonna explain that to you. Number one is Corrales made 130 when he couldn't anymore, and I'm gonna repeat it again. He was actually going to trial to serve 2 years. He actually went to jail for 2 years, 2 days after that fight. I have a hard time giving Floyd credit for that win. But also, these are things that go on behind the scene that a lot of people don't see. If you look at that fight, Corrales couldn't even stand. He was so weight drained. I mean, Floyd could have just touched him. He was just all over the place. He was spaghetti legs all over that fight. But if Floyd had fought Corrales at 135, he would have been in danger.
Okay. Let me finish though. So, and then also, let's be real. If you watch boxing long enough, the young, hungry champion usually beats the past their prime boxer. 23-year-old Teofimo Lopez just beat Lomachenko, who's 34. A 23-year-old hungry champion should beat a 36-year-old past their prime fighter. Floyd dominated him, and that was considered a 50-50 fight at that time. A lot of people thought Canelo could take out Floyd.
No, a lot of people. No. Not a lot of people who are not knowledgeable thought that, but I never thought that. When I actually looked at that fight, I actually looked at it as it was going to be great experience for Canelo, but he's going to have a tough time catching Floyd, because Floyd.
Pacquiao is older than Floyd, so this past their prime nonsense is bullshit.
Pacquiao is not older than Floyd. Pacquiao's actually no, he's not, bro.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. Pacquiao's 2 years younger than Floyd, and you need to understand. A fighter's prime. This is very important. We need to understand.
I'm sorry. No, you're right. I'm sorry. I meant to say Floyd is older than Pacquiao.
I want to make a point here. A fighter's prime is not based on physical age. A fighter's prime is based on the stage of which they find their career.
Exactly.
You could be 28 years old, but if you don't have the experience like Plant did yesterday, was he in his prime? Yes. Was he at the best of what he can be? No. So prime is when your physical, your mind, your experience, everything comes together. You know, so you can be 28 years old and you're physically in your prime, but mentally you're still immature and unexperienced.
Nelson,
Floyd, yeah.
Do you
Let me ask you
think
one last thing.
Pacquiao Mayweather fight in 2015 would have been different than
What happened?
Do you
Canelo
think
versus Floyd?
No, Floyd versus Pacquiao. Or,
yes, I
when they
believe
were
that
supposed
Pacquiao,
to fight.
Pacquiao in his time when I used to see Pacquiao, he was a machine, man. Actually, he was just a machine, man.
But you have to remember what Floyd did before.
And the funny
Pacquiao
thing about
fight.
that, let me make a point with Floyd versus Pacquiao. Pacquiao is actually 2 inches shorter, has 3 inches less reach, comes from a lighter weight class, and when he faced Floyd, he had to be the pressure fighter. Isn't that crazy? You know, you would figure that the bigger man Floyd would have finished Pacquiao even after coming out of a knockout 2 years before, and he couldn't because
that's not Floyd's style.
Though
Okay,
he's
hold
great,
on,
I know
Nelson.
that that's not his
one more
style.
thing Floyd did. You forgot one more thing
I don't
Floyd
take
did.
credit for him, but I believe that Floyd was always too defensive minded, you know.
Yeah,
and
Nelson, remember the one thing that Floyd did wrong. He cheated before that fight. What did he get 2 hours before the fight?
No. I'm not gonna
Here we go.
Hey,
I'm sorry, brother. I'm not jumping off that bridge with you.
No, hold on. If it's on according to the standards that Canelo's being held, if it's on the no use list, it's cheating. Period. If it says you cannot use it, hold on. If you cannot use it,
hold on.
Hold on. If you cannot use it, it's cheating. Period.
Let's make something into accountability.
It's on the banned substance. If it's on the banned substance list, according to the standards that they hold Canelo, if it's on the banned standard list, it's cheating. Okay, that cocktail that he got was on the banned list. No one ever talked about it.
But you know what's so funny?
Period.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something that Christian said before that is gonna take a toll on Canelo's body for him to continue at this pace. The reason why is because usually any athlete, once they're in the off season, they like to, you know, they take a cycle or two, but not for the reasons to be competitive, is to recover. You know, steroids are not bad if they're used, you know, correctly, if they're used to recover the guy. But given that Canelo's fighting in the testing era, you know, where we're actually testing, we're criticizing Canelo when he's probably the most tested prize fighter to have ever put on a pair of gloves, because we wasn't having these conversations 7 years ago. So Lord knows what these fighters were doing, what they were under, and what was going on. You know what I mean? So you got a guy testing. If I tested 150 times, and I missed two of the tests, and you've only tested 15 times, and you haven't missed none, physically it's impossible for you to say that you're cleaner than I am. I've tested 150 times, man. How the hell are you
going to let me give you some game, bro. I live in California, which is down the border of Mexico. I've gone to TJ a few times. I had some tacos, and I've got tested for a federal job, and I tested positive for computer off 2 tacos for a federal job. Yet my polygraph, I beat. Do you see what I'm saying? Just 2 tacos in Tijuana.
The thing is,
but
people don't understand that because they're naive. They live in Buffalo. Come out of California, go to Tijuana, have some tacos, go to Questlat, and get tested. And if you'll see, it's there. It's in the meat, man. Look at
go to McDonald's.
We shouldn't be talking about that anymore. I think it's pretty much cleared up. Even Victor Conte, one of his latest interviews, admitted that Canelo was one of the cleanest fighters because he took the hair follicle test. I think we're just wasting energy and breath talking about the same shit. I mean, it is what it is.
I think the testing is accusations. We don't know for sure. It's like, oh yeah, he's doing this, he's doing that. Pacquiao got accused of it for years, but it's pointless for me. Like, I don't really look at it like, I just want to appreciate the fighters. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Floyd with the IV, they were talking about him just with the IV. They said with an IV, he could have flushed a lot of stuff out. Did he? I don't know, and nobody really knows. So why are we talking about it?
It's accusation.
It makes a lot of it's the way it is, you know. But we are in the testing era, and we have a clean guy in our hands. He needs time. If we're not gonna let him use anything, he needs time. It's the only way to properly heal your body. I mean, if you take something, then you can recover 2 months. But if you're not gonna take anything, you're gonna take 8 months to naturally heal yourself. But I mean, this stuff is used in the emergency room, is used in the surgery room, is, you know, it's a medicine, man. I mean, I believe that if you was to give him a cycle or two, just in recovery, nothing to be, you know, fighting with. I think it's healthy for athletes to actually use it, you know, but just as long as it's not to compete.
Nelson, you know, they said that and Victor Conte kind of mentioned this in his last interview, where he said that pretty much the fighters are just one step ahead. He feels that a lot of them are cycling off at the right time. A case in point, Ustagi got caught, you know, just a couple of weeks ago or a week ago. He believes that there's still a lot of illegal substance, but the fighters are just one step ahead right now. Do you guys think the majority of the boxers are on something right now?
There's ways of figuring it out, bro. Your lipids, your triglycerides go up the roof. Your testosterone gets suppressed. Your LS, LH changes. All that. All you need is just